Hey, everybody.
Hello.
So I lied in the chat. My worker isn't coming at 9:30. He's coming at 10:30. So I'll have to disappear around the bottom of the hour. If we can get everybody to sign into the agenda, if you have any items you'd like to talk about today, please do so. Give me a second just to get things loaded up. There's the agenda. Do we have any one here that is interested in helping us take notes today? All right, well, wherever possible.
I can try. I'm just having trouble getting to the document. Sorry. I can
worries,
try
Dan.
that.
I just posted the link into the Zoom chat.
Got it.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate Dan. Do we have any new friends that it's their first time with this group today and they wanted to introduce themselves?
I can introduce myself. Hi, I'm Caroline. I have been involved in Scorecard a little bit. And so I saw this as a related working group. So thought I'd listen in and see what conversations are being had here. So thanks for having me.
Excellent. Well, welcome. We love the
Thank you.
Scorecard. They're one of our favorite member projects. And Ragev put a little note in the Zoom chat. Doesn't have camera or mic, but he gets to work on the Scorecard, which is pretty cool. Well, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. All right. Did we have any new items we wanted to discuss today? We can briefly go over the sub projects. We have Mr. Wheeler was very busy with some updates, and I can talk to Jay and Christine about the DEI SIG. I can give you a brief update on the memory safety SIG, and then maybe we can get an update on the guides. How does that sound? A little recap today. All right. Well, anyone that's been a long time attender of this group will have heard of the struggles of David Wheeler battling with his Scorecard Rails 6 upgrade. And it looks as if he has finally finished that. Huzzah. So now the Scorecard is on a more modern version of Rails. Yay. He gives a big shout out to Andrew Fader for help. And he's in the process of flipping the crypto system. So we should see some more minor updates on best practices badge. And ideally, this helps it make it easier to maintain and for others to contribute if they were so interested. No updates on the fundamentals class. Let us roll down to education SIG. We currently still are waiting for the governing board's review. Because of RSA, the governance committee call was canceled last week, and we won't have another meeting until next week, where that'll be the next opportunity to talk about it. So hopefully, so what that would be, what's today, the 25th, that would be the 4th. So hopefully by May 9th, we might have some more information to share about education SIG. Speaking of the education SIG, Jay and Christine, any updates from our DEI SIG? I know we had a office hours last week. I heard was pretty cool.
Yeah, we had office hours last week centered around Alpha Omega, which is starting up a mentorship program. So Yesenia, who's and Jonathan, who are both leading the effort, Yesenia kind of like got on to answer any questions. So about 6 people on the call, but it was like a good start with very little So like outreach.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to start doing these monthly.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll be glad to work with you. Maybe we can get a kind of a calendar published with Jennifer and get a little more lead time than one day. But for one day, 6 people is pretty great.
Yeah, and the other thing that we have been working on for the last couple of months was just getting together like a database of folks who are DEI focused, a cybersecurity organization, and we're finally able to put that list up and hopefully kind of like start populating it some more. So those are kind of like the key updates, and I guess where a lot of us are going to be hopefully at Open Source Summit in about a couple of weeks, and we have a couple of lightning talks and a panel, and potentially do a birds of a feather, sort of like a meet and greet, and recruit some hopefully new people to come join the work.
Yeah, I think that would be really great. We'll figure out those details and share with the group. Anyone that's there in Vancouver is welcome to join. Pretty exciting stuff. All right. Did Nell happen to join? No. From memory safety SIG, things are going pretty well. We are going to have, I think, 1 or 2 additional contributors show up our next call next week. I had some folks from IBM reach out. And so ideally, we'll have just more people talking about memory safety. And the next step for that group is to start to edit the plan. We've kind of agreed upon some principles and goals of the group. Now we just need to, much like we did with the education SIG, is look at the text of the mobilization plan and make any proposed edits and get those added in. Dan or Christine, are you interested in just giving us a brief update on the source code management best practices guide status?
I have been kind of like out of touch for the past week. So, because I've been doing W3C stuff in Japan, which, poor me, but I don't know. So I don't actually, I haven't, nothing, I don't have any updates to report. Christine, maybe you have something.
Yeah, I know one thing that on my end that we were working on, Dan, you had put together kind of like a really new guide, and we figured out that we kind of like that structure now on my end. It's just going in and putting up a PR to just add a little bit more front matter, more descriptions and introduction to the section. So a PR hopefully coming up soon on that.
Do we, I'll just get your opinion from you two. And David, if you have an opinion as well. About how far along are we with that project? Are we 25% of the way, 50% of the way? Trying to get a feel.
I think from the last discussion that we were talking around the 70, 80, I might be remembering it incorrectly, but one of the things that we had hopefully wanted to do is see if we could get something ready so that we could talk about it at Open Source Summit in Vancouver. But and then we wanted to kind of sync up with Noam to see how far we could get, but I don't think that happened during that week.
Yeah, I think part of the answer to that question depends on how much can be done automatically to spit out the markdown and the index files in the way that we've kind of reimagined it. And I don't think we have the information from the Legitify folks about that yet. So okay. That's kind of the unknown factor.
Well, I think this will be a pretty great artifact once it's ready. So let me know and I'll work with Jennifer. Maybe we do a blog or a press release on it. If we can get it done by the summit, that would be amazing. I know she was looking for material to talk about, but if not, I don't want to put pressure on the team. I know we're all doing the best we can to juggle our day and fun jobs. But let me know if we can kind of get just a rough estimate on when we think that'll be. I can try to line up and start to prepare, any additional collateral to kind of advertise all this great work to the world once we're ready.
Yeah, I would love to see it ready by then. I don't think it'll be really ready by then. I mean, that's only a few weeks, and
I agree.
And there's a lot of, if you look at some of the comparable, there's a whole bunch of other documents that look at things that the information hasn't flowed in yet, and it's not clear that it's been rejected. It's just there's a lot of existing material to work through. That's good long term because that means there's a rationale for having a common place, but I don't think we're going to be ready by then. But I do agree that once we are more ready, let's get the word out. In fact, I'd love to. I think we should at least somewhere in the OpenSSF Day tell everybody, "Hey, we're working on this. Please help." But I think that would be the better message.
I think that's absolutely doable, and I know the guy that's going to be doing all the talking on OpenSSF Day, so I probably could ask him to insert a plug for contributions.
Yeah. Please use all your subtle persuasive skills. That'd be awesome.
Cool. Any questions about the SCM guide?
Yeah, and then kind of related to that, there is a talk that I'm going to be doing in Vancouver related to GitHub and SCM. So that would also be another opportunity to plug folks helping out.
Cool. And did Thomas or George join? We also have another best practices guide we're working on, the C and C++ compiler hardening options guide. That is also coming along, gotten some great collaboration from some folks at Red Hat, folks at Microsoft, just other community members. So I'm excited how this document's going. I think this is probably a little behind. It started afterwards, but I think it's a little tracking behind the SCM guide. So I am certain we won't have anything ready for the summit, but that'll be, I think, another useful resource the team's working on. And I would encourage, our next call is 23 hours from now. If you're available and interested, join us on the call tomorrow. So that was a recap of all the current work. Do we have any other opens we wanted to discuss here today?
Yeah, real quick, the best practices badge and the security fundamentals course SIG. I don't know if you talked, I put in some text, but I don't know if you guys talked about it.
We talked about it briefly, but was there any other color you wanted to add to either of those?
Let's see here. I guess, for the OpenSSF best practices badge, the big thing is an update from Rails 6 to 7. We're now going to be upgrading the encryption system to use that. And for the security fundamentals course, we are going to be adding an item. At least that I've got a pull request. I plan to emerge it very, very soon. Just pointing out the need to when you're storing passwords or using what's called KDF, that there's ways you need to configure this. I'm talking about things like PBKDF and Argon 2ID and bcrypt and so on. And this was inspired both by problems that LastPass had, as well as some recent concerns with the Lukes, which a link I put there. So it's just, add a sentence, but I think it's an important sentence.
Awesome. Any additional topics we wanted to discuss today?
I guess continuing on the fundamentals course, if
Please.
you have more stories that help illustrate important points, and I'm talking about real life events and things that that help explain some of these things, those would be awesome. It's actually more challenging than you might expect to find something that's it's important. It was in the news. It very clearly illustrates a specific issue. We don't already have an illustration for. But I think it really helps hone the point in about, hey, this isn't just some theoretical topic, but it actually affects people. So please help. That'd be awesome.
That's an excellent idea. And to remind everybody, all the content from the fundamentals class is available on GitHub to review. So please take a peek at it. And if you have some good illustrative examples, let David and the team know. That'd be great. Any additional topics or comments for today? All right. Well, thank you everyone for showing up today. If you have any ideas for a future meeting, don't hesitate to drop it into the agenda or talk about it in our Slack channel or our mailing list. And we will talk to everyone in 2 weeks, if not sooner. Enjoy the rest of your days.
Thanks.